Kisses like Joanne, his eyes like Mary Lou, a smile that Mona Lisa knew. And glitter just fades when she comes into view. That girl is you. Whoa, 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 whoa. That girl is you. It's good night, Irene. Laura, she's free. And Kathy's glad I'm heavy. Because the counter girl, I've got to pull you through. That girl is you. Whoa, 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 whoa. That girl is you. I wanna hold you tight. All of you with all my mind. I want you in my arms. To show you all my charm. And darling, eternally. So I'm gonna be a traveling man no more. I found a one for my own. A girl that I adore and feels just like I do. That girl is you. Oh, 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 that girl is you. That girl is you. Oh, 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 oh. That girl is you. That girl is you. Whoa, 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 whoa.
That girl is you, and that's Bobby Pedrick singing Just For You. It's 23 minutes past 5 o'clock. That means you're just 37 minutes away from WHN, New York's own station for the wonderful sound of music and total information news. Checking the weathercast for you, cloudy with fog and occasional rain or drizzle continuing into late tonight, becoming partly cloudy, breezy, and colder tomorrow. High today about 40, low tonight 25 to 30, and the high tomorrow 35 to 40 degrees.
Look for the spear and get chewing enjoyment. Look for the spear, get Wrigley's. Fresh, strong, lively, long-lasting too. You'll say Wrigley's is great to chew. Look for the spear and get chewing enjoyment with the biggest little treat in all the land. Get the package with the spear and you'll know enjoyment's here. Be sure it's Wrigley's gum.
Friends, the word spearmint cannot be trademarked, so there are many spearmint gums on the market. To be sure of getting the original Wrigley spearmint, look for the spear on the package. It is the Wrigley trademark. Some people call it a spear, some call it an arrow. Whichever you call it, it is the Wrigley trademark and is your guarantee of real chewing enjoyment. So remember,
get the package with the spear and you'll know enjoyment's here. Be sure it's Wrigley's gum.
Friends, Eastern Airlines offers jet service to Miami. Enjoy delicious meals with Eastern's compliments on mealtime flights. Call Eastern Airlines or your travel agent.
Spaceship X-11 to Earth. We have landed safely on the moon. Any instructions?
Just remember that Wednesday is Prince Spaghetti Day.
Why do you think we're here, you nut? We're going to try it with green cheese.
On Callan's Corner, a story for you. While passing through a small town out west, a lion escaped from the circus, and a posse was formed to find the beast and recapture him. The posse met in the saloon for final instructions, and the owner of the circus offered to buy drinks for everybody. Well, one man refused to have any, and a friend said, "Oh, come on, Buck, have one. It's on the circus." Buck said, "Nope, none for me. That stuff gives me too much courage."
I feel now that I got my woman, I feel every time I think about you, you've been so good to me. You know you make me wanna shout, zip my head, kick my heels up and shout. Come on now, take it easy, take it easy, take it easy. A little bit softer now, 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 a little bit softer now. Soft now, soft now, soft now, soft now, soft now.
theme music, standing on the corner watching all the girls go by, and that's it for us. During the past 7 months here on WMGM, we've really enjoyed playing the songs, the hits of the week for you, and we feel as if we know most of you personally. One thing we don't want to do is leave you with a tear. We want to leave you with a smile, because we'll meet again, and that's for sure. Somewhere, someplace. Just keep your eyes open and keep listening. So, until we do meet again, this is Bob Callan saying goodbye to you with this thought that we'd like to be remembered by. Happiness is like jam. You can't spread even a little without getting some on yourself.
One, two, three, jump.
Twist, the last of the big pop hits, the farewell to WMGM New York. Now the switches are thrown, the signals are given, and we welcome WHN 1050 on your dial, New York's own station for the sound of wonderful music and total information news.
WHN in New York, in New York.
That was a theme signature of WHN, New York's newest and finest AM radio service. Ray Charles conducted 12 of the famous Ray Charles singers. The theme signature was created exclusively for WHN by the company which produces the commercial themes for many of America's most famous advertisers. The new WHN is identified constantly during its 24-hour broadcast schedule by some 137 different versions and treatments of this beautiful theme. For example,
The man you just heard is Ted Brown. In New York, he really needs no introduction. Ted was the morning voice of WMGM for 12 years. He continues in that assignment on the new WHN in a completely new music, news, service, and production setting. Overture with Ted Brown is presented Monday through Saturday, 6 to 10 a.m.
Ted Brown again to thank Dick Shepard for the introduction and to tell you something about the music in Overture.
Incidentally, you'll be hearing more about Dick Shepherd later. Now, in the background is Robert Farnham's Shine on Your Shoes. And it's typical of the kind of music the new WHN will offer you in my show. We call it the 3 Bs: bright, breezy, and bouncy. We could even add a couple of more Bs: beautiful and best. And that's the only kind of music you hear in any of the 8 major shows which make up the daily schedule of the great new WHN.
Good morning. Good morning.
Here, and here means 5 minutes past 10 in the morning on the new WHN. The show is Serenade, the great love songs of the century. It's presented daily from 10:05 to 12 noon. The mood of Serenade is quiet, romantic, and lovely. WHN's way of being good company to a few million New York gals busy with the homemaking chores. Behind my voice is the Frank Hunter Orchestra, but beautiful. We selected it to give you an idea of the kind of WHN music we'll play in Serenade. To put it another way, just think of the prettiest songs you know recorded on hi-fi long play albums by the best artists in the business.
Ted Brown with a quick footnote about Dean Hunter, your host for Serenade. Dean is a well-known New York voice. He's been on our staff since 1955 and will be remembered by many as a nighttime DJ personality. The new programming of WHN brings Dean Hunter back to the kind of music he prefers, the fine, enduring songs of America's top composers.
Shepard now, continuing through the music day of the new WHN. I have two assignments. The first is the noon hour. From 10 minutes past 12 until 1 o'clock, the Sound of Music presentation is Soundtrack. This exciting show is WHN's salute to the unforgettable songs from motion pictures, from the jazz singer to West Side Story. Soundtrack also takes note of the music contribution of television, program themes, TV-created songs, television mood music. The best of it is programmed in Soundtrack.
This is Ted Brown again, speaking of Dick Shepard, the man who will be your announcer for Soundtrack. Dick is a bit new to our staff. However, he isn't new to a national radio and television audience. Dick's voice and face have been associated with a number of famous national advertisers. Although he will continue his activity in this field, Dick is now a full-time member of the WHN team.
Dean Hunter back, returning on this WHN profile, as I also return in the daily schedule of the new WHN. Our 1:05 to 4 p.m. Sound of Music presentation is called Matinee. Matinee music is broad range in mood and tempo, designed to match the many and contrasting afternoon moods of the tremendous WHN audience. A graceful waltz, a moody blues, a nostalgic lullaby, a rich Latin beat, a touch of restrained jazz. The gamut of quality music available on today's brilliant LP.
To the lullaby of Broadway, the hip hooray and ballyhoo, the lullaby of Broadway. Rumble on the subway train, the rattle of the taxi, the daffodils who entertain at Angelo's and Maxie's, where the Broadway baby says goodnight. It's early in the morning. Manhattan babies don't sleep tight until the dawn
Dick Shepard again. At 4:05 in the afternoon, the sound of music on WHN reflects the time and problems of the hour for the vast New York population on the way home in a city with possibly the world's most acute automobile traffic problem. I'm WHN music host for Caravan, presented daily from 4:05 to 7 p.m. Caravan music is slick, brisk, and authoritative. It isn't afraid to swing, but the melody is the thing. For example...
This is Hans Anderson. My assignment on the new WHN is Nighttime New York. We call the show Carnival, a title we feel covers the broad scope of fine musical attractions WHN presents in the hours between 7:10 and 11 p.m. Carnival music is thematic. On Artist Night, we play the best of a selected top artist, a Ray Conniff, a Johnny Mathis, and Ella Fitzgerald. On Composer Night, we feature throughout the evening the best of an Irving Berlin, a Cole Porter, or a Rodgers and Hammerstein. On Conductor Night, we sprinkle the show with a David Rose, a Henry Mancini, a Percy Faith. On Instrumentalist Night, we feature, on one occasion, the best trumpets in the land. On another, the best pianos. On another, guitars. And salutes to foreign conductors and artists from other countries. Carnival is our showtime for specials and spectaculars. An evening with Belafonte, Judy Garland at Carnegie Hall, a new Broadway show album, and our own productions built by the four-man WHN music programming staff from a tremendous library of high-fidelity recordings.
Dick Shepard with a quick note on Hans Anderson, the WHN music host for Carnival. He hasn't had the years in New York some of us have had, but he's well known here from his work on another of New York's fine stations. We consider Hans a distinctive new addition to the WHN Sound of Music air staff.
John Connolly, and my WHN Sound of Music show is Starlight, from 11:10 p.m. overnight to 4 a.m. In the background, you're hearing a sample of WHN music for Starlight, quiet and understanding company through the small hours for the huge nighttime audience served by the 50,000-watt signal of WHN. Starlight music does not intrude, but it is much too beautiful to go unappreciated.
Returning briefly to introduce John Connolly. John is a veteran of New York radio. He was a staff member of the first WHN, a station which is honored in the memory of countless New Yorkers. John Connolly's fine voice is heard on television across the nation, speaking for several famous household products. This is Aimé Gauvin to complete the 24-hour music panorama of the new WHN. My 4 to 6 a.m. musical host assignment is titled Daybreak. It's a musical bridge from the leisurely grace of John Connolly's Starlight to the bright and busy bustle of Ted Brown's Overture. Daybreak music is on the easy side, but we don't forget to be cheerful.
This is Stan Willis, director of WHN Total Information News. Pioneered by Storer Radio's great Miami station, WGBS, Total Information News utilizes both radio's incomparable speed in news reporting, plus radio's unmatched ability to be where the news is. To tell you more about WHN Total Information News are the voices who will be at the WHN news microphones. Leadoff man, Aimé Gauvin.
In the early morning, there are 3 10-minute reports at 6, 7, and 8 a.m. 5-minute newscasts are scheduled at 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, and 9 a.m. Between 9 a.m. and 12 noon, we broadcast 5-minute news programs on the hour. There's a 10-minute report at 12 noon. In the early afternoon, we continue the pattern of 5 minutes of news on the hour at 1, 2, 3, and 4 o'clock. After a 5-minute news at 4:30, we return to the 10-minute on the hour schedule at 5, 6, and 7 p.m. There are 5-minute reports at 4:30, 5:30, and 6:30 p.m. In the evening, we present 5-minute reports on the hour at 8, 9, and 10 o'clock. At 11 o'clock each night, WHN Total Information News wraps up the day with another 10-minute report. After 5 minutes of news at 11:30, we operate overnight with WHN News in Brief, capsule news summaries on the hour and the half hour.
Stan Willis again to introduce another voice of WHN Total Information News, Dick DeFreitas. Dick will tell you about another facet of this kind of news.
9 times each day, WHN Total Information News presents Comment. Background and analysis on the people, the problems, and the issues of today's world. Comment is broadcast at 9:30, 10:30, and 11:30 a.m., at 12:30 p.m., at 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 7:30, and 9:30 p.m. Many of these features will be written and voiced by WHN reporters here in the New York newsroom. However, 5 comment programs per week will be prepared and voiced exclusively for WHN in New York by an internationally known team of analysts and commentators.
This is Eugene Lyons. This is Norwood F. Allman in New York. This is Ansel Talbert.
This is George Fielding Elliott in New York.
This is Louis Lochner in Hamburg, Germany.
This is Columbia Rossi in New York.
This is Spiros Glenitsis.
This is Will Ellsworth.
This is James Sheldon speaking in New York. This is Vincent Sheehan in New York.
This is Richard Thomas speaking to you from the heartland of America, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
This is Hal Lehrman. This is Leon Bennett. This is Maxwell Haig speaking from New York.
An important principle of WHN News. Modern radio has an obligation to do more than headlines. Now here again is Mr. Willis.
To tell you about the national news bureaus at the call of WHN Total Information News, here is another WHN News voice, Ed Stokes.
The news departments of 11 other Storer radio and television stations augment our national wire services from United Press and Associated Press. When important stories break in the areas of these Storer stations, WHN will be there.
This is Merritt Hadley, WHN Total Information News, Miami and Latin America.
This is Norm Lenhart, WHN Total Information News, Detroit and the Great Lakes.
This is Ed Blair, WHN Total Information News, Atlanta and the South.
This is Michael Freely, WHN Total Information News, Cleveland and the Midwest.
Some of the Storer radio and television news voices you will hear on WHN. To introduce another of our own New York voices, here again is News Director Stan Willis.
WHN International covers every major world capital and news center. One of the WHN newsmen who will be introducing these foreign correspondents in daily WHN news programs is Wally Parker.
Time doesn't permit a rundown of all these reporters and their news areas. There are a total of 115. Irv Chapman and Herb Brubaker are among the several men covering Washington. John Truitt reports from West Berlin. In Paris, we have Stephen Laird. In London, Noel Bernard. Michael Wilson covers Rome. Jack Morris watches Canadian news in Ottawa. Victor J. covers the United Nations here in New York. That's a very brief sampling of the scope of direct WHN international reporting. With the exception of Communist China or Cuba, WHN Total Information News is there just about anywhere in the world. Here's Stan Willis again.
The most important city in the world is, of course, the #1 reporting assignment of WHN Total Information News. Here in the WHN newsroom, we have a staff of 4 reporter-writers who assist the WHN voices you have just heard. The primary responsibility of these men is New York itself. A New York story is often a national story, frequently an international story. This is Stan Willis, Amy Govan, Dick DeFreitas, Ed Stokes, Wally Parker, speaking for WHN Total Information News.
WHN 1050.
Speaking for WHN Music, this is Ted Brown.
Dean Hunter, Dick Shepard,
Hans Anderson,
and John Connolly.
Stora Radio Incorporated proudly presents its new concept of radio broadcasting for the new decade. We pledge to New York the finest in news, information, entertainment, and public service on the great 50,000-watt broadcast signal of the new WHN. The old and distinguished WHN call letter carries with it a responsibility to serve the city of New York in the best tradition of America's leading radio stations. This responsibility we accept as we present the wonderful sound of music and total information news in New York.
Good evening. This is Ed Stokes with WHN Total Information News. The weather, light rain tonight, turning cloudy and colder later, low in the upper 20s. Temperature right now 39 degrees. East side, west side, all around the town. The sidewalks of New York will be filled tomorrow with hundreds of thousands cheering the lone eagle of a new generation. Transport workers set out to strike the Fifth Avenue Coach Company this afternoon, but went back after the company put off until tomorrow its plans to lay off 29 workers. The Hudson and Manhattan Tubes are one station closer to becoming part of the Bi-State Port Authority. Those are the big stories covered by WHN Total Information News at 6 o'clock. All systems are go from Peacock Alley at the Waldorf to the sidewalks of Lower Broadway, from Marine Terminal at LaGuardia to the news reporters' wells at City Hall. John Glenn is coming to town, and this time it's the city that's going to blast off. America's lone eagle of the space age will arrive in town tomorrow morning a few minutes after 11. Charles Lindbergh's arrival a generation ago set off the wildest celebration in the city's history of ticker tape parades. 1,750 tons of paper fluttered down on Lindbergh. Tomorrow, even more ticker tape will flutter by astronaut Glenn, like the unknown luminous particles that accompanied him on his 3 voyages around the Earth. The parade will set out from the Battery at 5 minutes past noon tomorrow, arriving at City Hall 20 minutes later. Mayor Wagner will make a special presentation to Glenn there, and again during a luncheon at the Waldorf. 2,000 persons will attend the luncheon. WHN's Broadway tipsters say you can't buy a ticket to the luncheon for love nor money. The Transport Workers Union set out this afternoon to strike the Fifth Avenue Coach Company, but they moved to the back of the bus when the company agreed to put off its planned furlough of 29 employees. A strike still is very much a possibility at noon tomorrow, which is as long as the company is willing to delay the furlough. It says it must cut back to reduce its debts. Mayor Wagner will receive a request for a meeting to discuss the company's demand for a fare increase. WHN Total Information News Time, 4 minutes past 6.
What's happening all over?
Comet is heading for the stars. 400,000 happy owners are telling the world,
come see Comet now. Its new looks make you proud. Comet smartly ahead of the compact crowd. Come see Comet now. Come see 62's news. Fine car styling and how. And wow, is it nice? That old Comet price.
62 Comet's the it car. Comet's got it in price, with or below most compacts. Got it with highest resale value, with more room and the smoothest ride in the field. Come see it, you'll get it.
Get the facts, and you'll see, sir. Comet gives you economy, sir. What a deal. Take the wheel of a Comet now.
Come test drive the new modern-sized Meteor 2, priced just above Comet, but below cost of other compacts. 62 Meteor at your Mercury dealers now. The Hudson and Manhattan Railroad is one station closer to becoming a bi-state operation. The New York State Senate this afternoon passed a bill authorizing the Port Authority to take over the bankrupt railroad and switch its trains onto routes of the Erie-Lackawanna Railroad. Eventually, the Erie would be tied to the Pennsylvania to form a vast metropolitan rail complex. Part of the bill the Senate passed would also create a World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan. New Jersey has already passed the bill. And those are the top stories covered in this portion of WHN Total Information News. The time, 6 minutes past 6 o'clock. Light rain tonight, turning cloudy and colder later, low in the 20s, present temperature 39 degrees. The cost of living in New York City hit a new record today, but the nation's index is generally the same. Peace is drawing closer in Algeria, but as it does, terrorism and murder increase. WHN's Stephen Laird is watching in Paris. Captain Bradley of the ILA is boycotting all but military shipments to the Canal Zone and the Republic of Panama as well. Now the details in the second segment of WHN Total Information News. Now is the time to make your car safe for winter driving at your nearest Firestone dealer or store. Brake linings, grease seals, brake cylinders inspected, brake fluid added, brakes precision adjusted, camber and caster corrected, wheel toe-in adjusted, and both front wheels balanced on any American-make car for only $9.95 with your friend and neighbor Al D'Amico at your Firestone dealer store, White and Maple Street in Red Bank, New Jersey. The man of the house in New York is going to have to dig a little deeper in his tattered pocket. The cost of food has gone up, and so has the cost of housing, transportation, and even reading and recreation. So says the Department of Labor in its report today on the cost of living in New York. The rise in the Consumer Price Index amounts to small change, but nevertheless it brings the index to a record high level. The cost of food last month, for example, went up 0.8%. But if the consumer finds prices a bitter pill to swallow, he can get pills from his doctor for slightly less than it cost in December. Medical care costs went down 0.1%. Nationally, the cost of living remained as high as ever, but didn't rise. The Algerian rebel government indicated today that it may sign a peace treaty with France by March 15th. This means more trouble for the moment as right-wing Europeans in France and in Algeria began an offensive of terror. 52 persons were killed today in Algerian fighting. Cabbies, strollers, and politicians are uneasy in Paris, where WHN's Stephen Laird is watching.
With the French Army rightist OAS terrorizing the Algerian Muslims, killing dozens every day as it tries to sabotage the imminent peace and Algerian self-determination by provoking the Muslims into a mass attack on the European colonists and thus forcing the French Army to a big action against the Muslims, the French government announces that to stop the OAS in these endeavors, policemen now are stationed every 30 feet along every city street in Algeria. Here in France, continuing OAS bomb attacks on the homes and offices of liberal Frenchmen. This is Stephen Laird in Paris.
WHN Total Information News Time, 8.5 minutes past 6.
Here's news from Firestone. It's big news. It's good news. It's news that will save you money. Firestone has reduced prices on many of the most popular types and sizes of passenger car tires. Black walls and white walls, tube type and tubeless. 13, 14, 15, and 16-inch sizes are all included. Here's your chance to buy tires that are Speedway-proof for your turnpike safety. Tires that are guaranteed for life against defects in workmanship and materials, and guaranteed against road hazards with free repairs or replacements prorated on tread wear. These tires are built with such exclusive features as Firestone's own safety-fortified cord bodies and Firestone Rubber X. So buy Firestone tires now at today's new low prices. There's no down payment when you trade in the tires off your car, and you can charge them or buy on easy Firestone terms. For top quality in tires and services, see your nearby Firestone dealer or store.
An unwelcome visitor from out of town hung around the airports today, tearing up the schedules of major airlines. For the third straight day, rain, fog, and haze combined to delay and cancel flights at Idlewild Airport and LaGuardia Field. Most flights were delayed at least a half hour, and several incoming flights were diverted to other airports. The fog should go away tonight with clearing before dawn. It'll be breezy and cool tomorrow for the Glen Parade. The New York stock market was mixed today. Gains and losses of most key stocks were small. The Dow Jones closing industrial average was down 1.7. Sales, 3,030,000 shares. Those are the big stories covered by WHN Total Information News at 6 o'clock. The weather, some periods of light rain or drizzle early tonight, followed by cloudy, turning colder later, low in the upper 20s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, breezy and cold, high in the 30s. The current temperature, 39 degrees, humidity 81%. Barometer 29.89 inches and steady. The winds are from the northeast at 7 miles an hour. This is Ed Stokes. I'll have later reports on WHN News at 6:30.
WHN time, 11 minutes after 6 o'clock. WHN music for the end of a busy day. From now until 7 o'clock, we invite you to the 1050 AM frequency for the sound of music, total information news in New York. Your host for Caravan, Dick Shepard. Verna Muller with Memories of You. The WHN time is 14 minutes after 6 o'clock. It'll be cloudy with fog and occasional rain or drizzle continuing till late tonight. Partly cloudy, breezy and colder tomorrow. Low tonight to 30, high tomorrow to 40.
WHN presents Mr. Music, an enjoyable name game.
WHN awards a personal radio for every member of your immediate family if you can name Mr. Music #1.
Or a magnificent Webcore $1,000 symphony and sound, including 4-speed phonograph, complete tape recorder, 5 hi-fi speakers, dual-channel AM/FM radio in Danish modern cabinet. If you name Mr. Music #1 and 2.
Or a 1962 Chevrolet Impala with your choice of model and color combinations. If you name Mr. Music #1, #2, and #3.
Increase your chances to win. Send a postcard with your name, address, and your home or office phone number to Mr. Music, WHN, New York 22, New York.
You may be called at any hour, so be prepared to win with WHN, New York's own radio station for the sound of Mr. Music.
On AM radio 1050, you're in tune with the music of Caravan. WHN melodies selected for late afternoon and early evening good company. The WHN weather outlook, cloudy, some rain, fog, and drizzle tonight. Les Elgart, Cherokee. WHN time 17 minutes after 6 o'clock. Temperature 32 degrees.
Today's hectic pace causes stomach tension. Stomach tension for millions. Waves of acid pour onto sensitive tissues. Muscles tighten. Distress builds. That's stomach tension. But now, a physician's tablet neutralizes this acid in seconds, then works like a warm glass of milk to keep acid stomach soothed for hours. This amazing tablet is Amatone. Ordinary antacids can't do what Amatone does for acid attacks from stomach tension. Some can give relief from the first wave of acid. But Amatone relieves acid attacks caused by stomach tension in seconds, like a warm glass of milk, and soothes an acid stomach for hours. If today's hectic pace means stomach tension for you, don't count on ordinary antacids for satisfactory relief. Get Amatone to neutralize acid in seconds. Keep stomach soothed for hours.
When you want money for any good reason, just keep this in mind. Beneficial Finance Company has money the minute you want it.
Money. The minute you want it. Money. The minute you want it.
Yes, Beneficial has money.
The minute you want it.
For leftover bills, home improvements, seasonal expenses, you name it.
Money.
The minute you want it. Just call up and come in to Beneficial. You'll find the service is just a little faster, just a little friendlier than most any place else.
Money, the minute you want it.
The minute you want money to clean up bills or for any good reason, call Beneficial.
Cash, just say the word, you're the boss at Beneficial.
Beneficial Finance Company.
Now, whether you live in New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut, there's a Beneficial office near you. Over 180 affiliated offices, up to 24 months to repay. See the white pages of your phone book for Beneficial.
Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder.